Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is Montana This Morning from Montana's news leader.
Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us here on Montana This Morning. I'm Augusta McDonald.
And I'm Louis Torch. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your Friday. I gotta say, it's my favorite time of year. I love the holiday season. I love the Christmas season.
Do you? That's
yes.
great. And snow.
And
finally.
snow.
We've got some snow on the ground.
Yes, it looks like we're going to have a white Christmas now as well. Snow becoming more likely to fall Christmas Eve during the evening time and then throughout Christmas Day. So
yes, we have that to look forward to.
Yes, it's going to be really nice. But if you are traveling today, that's going to be a concern there because we're dealing with snow. We're also going to be dealing with blowing snow as the winds pick up. So look at our winter weather advisory. Quick update to this. For west central and southwestern Montana, snow is now expected to really become more heavy late morning and afternoon, and then linger into Saturday morning. So that winter weather advisory has been extended till 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Northwestern Montana, we're still expecting that advisory to expire at 11 p.m. tonight. There's a couple of snowfall totals, just a very broad view, but 3 to 5 inches expected in northwestern Montana, 4 to 7 inches for the Missoula, Bitterroot Valley, southwestern Montana, and then 5 to 8 inches around the Butte, Blackfoot region. Quick look at your Friday forecast, mostly 20s out there with light snow in the forecast.
Thank you, Louis. Top stories this morning. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill have left themselves some extra work in the new year, approving a short-term solution to government funding. Had they not, the government faced a shutdown at midnight tonight. Hannah Doba is in New York with more.
These are the last votes expected in the House for the day, the week, the month, and the year.
Before fleeing D.C. for the holidays Thursday, lawmakers in the House and Senate approved a stopgap measure to fund the government for the next 4 weeks, narrowly averting a government shutdown. The bill serves as a short-term extension to the Children's Health Insurance Program, or CHIP, and provides funding for a veterans' health care provision. The measure also sends $4.7 billion to the Department of Defense. The development came just days after Republicans passed their sweeping tax plan. Some lawmakers expressed concerns about the recent frenetic pace on Capitol Hill.
I've seen people of goodwill of both parties try mightily and so far consistently fail to get us back to regular order and to end this process of moving crisis to crisis.
The House also passed a separate $81 billion disaster relief bill to help Puerto Rico and states like Texas, Florida, and California, recently impacted by hurricanes and wildfires. The Senate, though, voted to delay the measure until the new year.
The emergency response is over, but recovery and rebuilding efforts go on.
President Trump is expected to sign both the funding bill and the new tax overhaul bill as soon as today. Hannah Doba, CBS News.
The bill funds the government through January 19th. Other headlines, a growing number of airlines are banning luggage with built-in tracking devices on phone chargers. There are concerns that lithium-ion batteries in so-called smart bags could cause a fire. United and Hawaiian Airlines said on Wednesday they will start banning smart bags with non-removable batteries January 15th. At least 4 other airlines announced similar restrictions this month. The carriers worry checked bags could catch fire if those batteries malfunction. Ross Feinstein is from American Airlines, the world's largest carrier, which was first to ban the bags.
If the bag has to be checked, you must remove that battery and bring it into the cabin of the aircraft with you. But if the bag has to be checked and the battery is not removable, we're not going to be able to accept that bag.
Earlier this year, the FAA urged international regulators to ban large electronics with lithium-ion batteries from checked bags. New testing revealed the potential for a catastrophic fire so intense the plane's extinguishers wouldn't put it out. It's worth noting the Department of Transportation and FFA do not certify batteries. One leading manufacturer says at least 65,000 of its smart bags could be grounded. And the sexual misconduct allegations that took down Hollywood heavyweights, politicians, and media stars was rated the top news story of 2017. According to an annual poll by the Associated Press, President Trump's first year in office, the Las Vegas massacre, and multiple devastating hurricanes also repeatedly made headlines. And the United Nations General Assembly rejects President Donald Trump's decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. But the U.S. ambassador made it perfectly clear the matter is not negotiable. U.S. Ambassador Nikki Haley accused the United Nations of a long-running bias against one of America's closest allies. Haley spoke as the General Assembly debated President Trump's decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital and to move the American embassy to the holy city from Tel Aviv. The vote went overwhelmingly against the U.S., 128-9, declaring the president's decision null and void. Haley also reminded the Assembly America is the United Nations' biggest contributor, but can cut that funding at any time. New this morning, a joint operation resulted in Australia's biggest methamphetamine bust with a record 1.2 tons of the drug worth more than $700 million seized on the west coast of Australia, authorities said in Perth on Friday. The drugs were collected from a mothership miles off of the Australian shore before returning to the port of Geraldton, where police intercepted the shipment on Thursday. 8 men, all Australian nationals, were charged with offenses carrying a maximum prison sentence of life imprisonment. Police suspect the drugs were destined for the east coast of Australia. Continuing our local coverage this morning, the investigation into a box of human remains discovered earlier this fall in a Missoula shed continues. According to Missoula Police Information Officer Travis Welch, the interviews were conducted this week but did not lead to any suspect in any criminal event associated with the remains. A person of interest that police had identified reached out to the police department, and his interview does not reveal that he is the suspect in this case. Welch says the bones of 3 children under the age of 10 were discovered in late September in a shed on the 2100 block of South 12th Street West. The remains were sent to the University of North Texas, and Welch says it could take 3 to 6 months for any identifying test results to be determined. At one point, Michigan State Police reached out to the Missoula Police Department about the case, but Welch says no other agencies have reached out at this point. And in Hamilton, a local company is turning towards a new way of producing living spaces in an efficient and startlingly quick manner. MTN's Dona Lakuta has more.
Most construction companies don't start building a house in the middle of winter. But when the walls and roof are prefabricated, it can take under a week to finish a home, a process that would normally take 2 months. Whisper Creek by Rocky Mountain Homes has a different approach to building a Montana home. It's called off-site framing, a process that has all the faces of the house assembled in a factory and shipped to the build site.
What we do is we design the home to the customer's needs and the build site needs. Then we send those plans out into our panel shop where they're read. We have framing tables, so everything's laid out on the table, 2x6 framing. We sheet it, we put the house wrap on it, we put the windows on it, and then we put the trim on it, and then we put it on the trucks and it's ready to go out to the build site.
Normally, these walls would travel hundreds of miles to their destination. Now, the Hamilton-based factory is propping them up in their own backyard. This system of construction effectively allows companies like Rocky Mountain Homes to pump out houses en masse for very cheap.
Panelized construction is quickly becoming one of the most efficient and innovative ways to build a home. Because the frames are built off-site, they can be designed and constructed while the foundations are being poured, which saves hundreds of hours of labor and a lot of money.
A study from Pacific Homes showed on average about 40% less labor hours were required to build a home with prefabricated walls, and there was a 50% reduction in lumber waste on site.
And they saved around 223 hours on the build site. There was also a huge reduction of waste on the build site. And then because we're able to build them in our quality controlled environment, you have a tighter building envelope, so it's more energy efficient. Panelized construction, I think it's kind of the wave of the future. There's really a need for it. Because we have the skilled framers, there's a lot of areas where you can't find the construction laborers that you need, and so this is something that fulfills it not only for customers, but builders are also our clients.
Reporting in Hamilton, Dona Lakatua, MTN News.
The Hamilton-based Rocky Mountain Homes constructs these panelized homes all over the United States and in Canada. Joining us now in the Storm Tracker Weather Center, meteorologist Louis Dorch has the latest. Louis.
All right, thank you, Augusta. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're having a great start to your Friday. Have some snow falling around. If you look outside in Missoula, it looks like we have about an inch so far here at the station. Maybe a little bit more than that, and it's just going to continue to snow throughout the day. Quick look at a picture, though, sent in to us yesterday by Cindy down there. Victor, beautiful sunset photo yesterday. Cindy, thank you so much for sending in this photo. And like I say every morning, keep them coming, because I love to see what you all are doing around western Montana or wherever your travels may take you. Quick look at your radar. Notice it's just continuing to build in, and it's going to continue to build in throughout the day today, even into tonight, early tomorrow morning, with the heavier amounts of snow found in west central and southwestern Montana. We have some snow falling around Missoula, around St. Ignatius. If you're traveling on Interstate 90, snow-covered roads on part of 90 heading west over towards Lookout Pass. I know today's a big travel day. A lot of us trying to do our Christmas travel, and not only snow, but we're also going to be talking about the winds later on this afternoon. A quick look further south, it's starting to build in around Stevensville, and yes, Hamilton will begin building in around you in just a little bit, as well as around 4 to 7 inches possible in place around the Missoula and Bitterroot valleys, over around 5 to 8 inches in place around the Butte-Blackfoot region, and these are places that didn't get hit quite as hard with the earlier system that moved in earlier this week. Now, quick look at your travel watch. Snow and ice for pretty much all the passes. Just updated though, McDonald Pass. Now change required if you are going to be towing a vehicle over McDonald Pass. Quick look at Lolo Pass. You can see a new fresh blanket of snow on the roads there, and this is the scene that we will see pretty much all day today. And then this is near Lookout Pass on Interstate 90. Snow is falling, plows are out, but you can see that there's a fresh layer of snow on the road Interstate 90 as well. Now let's go ahead and talk about our winds, because what we are is we're going to see the winds pick up for today. Now, wind forecast for Kalispell. Notice that we're going to see gusts around 8 a.m., possibly 25 miles per hour. Winds are going to gust anywhere from 25 to even 30, 35 miles per hour for today. Also the same thing for Missoula, a bit more though. Winds could gust around 40 miles per hour this afternoon. That's going to create blowing snow, reduced visibility, so keep that in mind for whatever travel plans you may have. High temperatures today across western Montana, 29 in Libby, 27 Trout Creek, 28 Thompson Falls, 25 in Superior and Missoula. We'll see 25 Stevensville, 29 in Darby.
Alrighty, thank you, Lewis. We hope you're having a great morning. Montana This Morning continues right after this.